Daily Times newspaper, and it has here as its lead headline, NAS not a rubber stamp, Senate leader insists. NAS, that's the National Assembly, not a rubber stamp. Senate leader insists. That's the Daily Times newspaper this morning. And the writer here says, fall to position for labeling Parliament as porn. Fall to position for labeling Parliament as porn. And the footer here says Tinubu's mining reforms trigger 38 billion naira revenue surge. Alake is saying Tinubu's mining reforms trigger 38 billion naira revenue surge. Alake is saying Tinubu is God's gift to Nigeria. Prince Aso has also joined somewhat the crowd of people supporting the president as well. It's almost as if there is this new support, need to drum support for the president. But we are hearing Chief Atoise, Prince Atoise, also adding to the many supporters the president seems to be garnering every day. Accountability. PDP demands disclosure of project costs. IGR from Abia governor. Accountability. PDP demands disclosure of project costs. IGR from Abia state. Fulani militants kill retired police officer, 2 others in Plateau community. Finally, at the top of the Daily Times newspaper, just above the nameplate, Wike pulls out of PDP peace deals, vows to fight until justice prevails. Wike pulls out of PDP peace deal, vows to fight until justice prevails. And that's it. Coincidentally, or maybe very intentionally, although the front page does not have the picture at the front page does not have a corresponding headline, we have a picture of former Vice President of Nigeria and the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, Atiku Abubakar, with former Governor of Anambra State and the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, in what looks like a tete-a-tete during the dialogue involving members of the National Political Coalition Group, consultative group in Abuja. A lot of speculations have become rife since that happened. Are we going to see another Atiku Peter Obi ticket? Or is Atiku going to now support Peter Obi to run while he's a spectator, for instance, like others have been asking him to be? It's going to be an interesting one. But this coalition, believe it or not, is gaining momentum. But this was the consultative group, the Northern Consultative Group, National Political Consultative Group. That was what it was called. With that, we move on now to the Guardian newspaper, where it says, despite 7 trillion naira subsidy savings, state failed to cushion hardship, hunger. Despite 7 trillion subsidy savings, states failed to cushion hardship, hunger. And as it is very typical of the Guardian newspaper, 2 years post-fuel subsidy removal, it has a picture graphics here, infographics here. According to this, it says 8,209 trillion naira from 2022 FAC allocation. That's the federal allocation. 2022 was 8.203. Okay, I got that wrong. Let me read it better now. It says 2022 8.209 trillion. 2023 10.143 trillion, 2024 15.626 trillion was FAC allocation. That's to states. We have other one here. Petrol per price 175 naira in 2023, 1,030 naira in 2025, 9 in 2024. and then 900 naira in 2025. We moved from 175 naira to 900 at the moment. And inflation in 2023, inflation was at 22. When it comes to exchange rate, in May 2023, we had 460 naira to a dollar, 460 naira, 702 naira to a dollar. In May 2024, it got to as much as 1,533.99 naira to a dollar, and as we speak, it has risen, I think higher than other years, 1,596 to a dollar. That's an unfortunate one, putting so much pressure on our naira. Fuel importation, 44.6 million liters a day in 2024, and now we are at 14.7 million liters a day in 2025. Fuel importation, that we already also recorded a decline. But that's what the Guardian newspaper really wanted us to see right there. We have other stories here. Military destroys over 100 illegal refinery sites in 5 months, I beg your pardon. Military destroys over 100 illegal refinery sites in 5 months. Nwokobia Adebayo blasts APC's fear-driven strategy, urged Tinubu to govern. Nwokobia Adebayo blasts APC's fear-driven strategy, urged Tinubu to govern. PDP postpones NEC meeting amid uncertainty over action against Atiku Wike. And at the footer here, IPI plays enough for removing Channels TV crew from Akwa Ibom's government house. IPI, I think that's International Press Institute, I'm not sure, but they play enough. That's the governor of Akwa Ibom State, for removing Channels TV crew from Akwa Ibom government house. North holds the key to solving Nigeria's problems. Obi is saying North holds the key to solving Nigeria's problems. 71% of rescheduled UTME candidates score below 200, says JAM. In spite of the rescheduling, 71% of those who had to rewrite the UTME because of that same glitch that we recorded still scored less than 200. Federal government unveils air cargo corridor, offers Nigerian exporters 50%. And that's it for the Guardian newspaper this morning. We quickly run through the Business Day newspaper. And the Business Day newspaper says residential power users bear brunt as big customers shun greed. Residential power users bear brunt as big consumers shun greed. You will not blame anyone who can afford it not to, move away from the national grid. It's quite epileptic, and if you want a sustained power supply, you would not want to be part of the national grid. We are seeing more homes have solar panel inverters and several other energy solutions just so that they are off the national grid, which is by the way not particularly a bad thing, because it will help give the national grid less pressure. Electricity sector reform and Nigeria's national security. I think that's an editorial right there. Sounds like something you should pick a copy and read and understand. The electricity sector reform and Nigeria's national security. Okay, and that's it for the Business Day newspaper. We'll quickly move on now to the Daily Sun newspaper. 2027, Atiku Obi yet to steal park, continue negotiations. Atiku Obi yet to steal park, continue negotiations. Leaders fear pro-government elements have infiltrated coalition efforts. Okay, leaders fear pro-government elements have infiltrated coalition efforts rather. PDP, Wike moves out of peace deal, vows to continue fight for justice within the political party. That's beside the Daily Sun's masthead. That's the story. Details of that story is on page 27. And at the footer, it says federal government deploys technology in boundary areas. Okay, because the Daily Sun is not so clear, we would quickly move on to the Tribune, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Still talking about the former governor of Rivers State and the minister of the FCT. Says PDP, Wike withdraws from peace accord, blames Makinde, vows to fight until justice is served. Claims credit for most PDP governors' election. Claims credit for most PDP governors' election. Controversy rages over national secretary. Ekiti communities endorse Oyebanji for second term. Federal government moves to deepen $1.5 billion Lekki Port Channel beyond 16.5 meters. That's a good one. And above the nameplate, it says the federal government launches intra-Africa air cargo corridor with 50% discount. Unlocks East-Southern Africa for Nigerian exporters. East and Southern Africa for Nigerian exporters. Utomi Defense Shadow Cabinet calls for democratic renewal. At the footer of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, NDLA intercepts 6.5 billion naira opioids in Lagos Rivers Port, arrest 2 Britons. NDLA that has been really up and doing, really, intercepts 6.5 billion naira opioids in Lagos Rivers Port, arrest 2 Britons. 2025 UTME 17,025 candidates. 17,025 candidates score 300 and above, says JAM. Releases result of rescheduled exams. Underage candidate result also released. Underage candidate. Are we still having that conversation? Atiku, Obi, Amechi, others in closed-door meeting with national political consultative groups. Tension flare as Jigawa delegates disrupt proceedings. Atiku, Obi, Amechi, others in closed-door meeting with national political consultative group. A lot is brewing, but we will still move on quickly to the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard says anti-Tinubu coalition. Atiku, Obi, others shop for platforms. Anti-Tinubu coalition. Atiku, Obi, others shop for platforms. Jigawa delegates disrupt coalition meeting. Will conclude talks in 2 weeks. Mosu, ADC chairman. We are considering SDP or new party. Ado is saying Nigeria's problems can be solved from north. Obi declares. And above the masthead, he said neither Buhari nor Jonathan had Nigeria's interest at heart in 2015. Lamido is saying that. 21,082 candidates absent as 99% scored below 200 in rescheduled UTME exams. WAEC NECO released 5 years withheld Zamfara result after governor clears debt. Imagine having your results withheld because the governor is owing. Could that be it? Well, details of that story is on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. Tinubu's mining reforms has attracted $800 million foreign investment. Alake is saying, and that story is on page 13. Federal government turns back 8 foreigners without visas. Right, so Nigeria is turning back foreigners without visas, just like they will not let any of us go into their country without visas, right? Crisis, PDP, Wike at loggerheads over agreement. Makinde Mba betrayed our agreement, Wike is saying. Agreement not binding on us. PDP replies. Osun Governor poll, we won't align with anyone. Arigbeshola is saying that. And finally, we would be taking the daily trust before we move on now to the sustainability polls. I know you're waiting for that. The daily trust newspaper this morning says coalition Atiku Obi meets Northern Group, and just below the masthead of the daily trust newspaper, first it killed in Taraba communal clash. Questions over Port Harcourt refinery shut down after $1.5 billion rehabilitation. PDP's reconciliation suffers setback as Wike pulls out. And that's it for the newspaper review segment. It's time for sustainability polls with a by day. Stay with us. We'll be back after that.
Welcome to another episode of Sustainability Pulse with A by Day, your weekly spot for climate truth, sustainability tips, and real and relatable conversations that keep your heart beating for people and the planet. Yes. Today's episode is very personal, and if you've ever felt overwhelmed by bad news about the climate, this one is for you. Now, we are talking about something we don't hear enough about. Eco-anxiety is real, but so is eco-action. Now, let's get into it so that we all understand where we are. But before we dive deep, we have to give our climate update as usual, feel the pulse of what's happening locally and regionally. So, we will go on a very short break, and when we're back, we should give you the global snapshot of what's happened, so far. So see you after the break.
Africa stands at the front lines of the climate crisis. Over 600 million Africans still lack access to electricity. 1 in 3 face food insecurity due to climate-induced droughts and floods. By 2050, over 100 million people on the continent could be pushed into extreme poverty because of climate change. Plastic waste is piling, forests are vanishing, coastal cities are sinking. Yet, we are not powerless. Africa is also the youngest continent with 60% of its population under 25. We hold the energy, innovation, and drive to shape the future. From solar-powered villages to bold climate tech, from green entrepreneurs to eco-warriors in slums and cities, the pulse of sustainability is rising. This is Sustainability Pulse with Ebide, the show where truth meets urgency and action meets hope. Together, we decode the data, amplify the change makers, and reclaim Africa's future one story at a time. This is not just a show, it is a movement. Welcome to the Pulse. Africa stands.
Welcome back from that very short break. And just this past week, over 70% of coral reefs in Belize and parts of Australia were reported to be under stress due to warming seas. Coral bleaching is happening faster and more frequently than scientists expected. I'm sure you wonder, what is coral bleaching? Coral bleaching happens when there's actually a high rise in temperatures of the seas and all of that. And it's actually a response to climate change, and of course it's not it's actually hazardous. Now within Nigeria, in Lagos especially, recent rains have actually caused flash floods in Ajah, in Surulere, and some other parts. And experts are actually linking this to clogged drainages and climate-driven extreme weather. Now, a group of teenagers in Port Harcourt just launched a climate podcast called Green Vibes Only, sharing their stories and pushing for local solutions. That's hope somewhere. And big shout out to them. We love to see this. We love to hear about this. And let's talk about what we often feel but struggle to name. Have you ever read a climate headline before and just felt stuck? You know what? Let me make it very simple. Have you ever seen pictures, videos of people being displaced from their homes? Like you see floods, you see fire, and people are homeless, like absolutely displaced from their homes. Or have you watched a documentary and felt like the planet is dying and there's nothing you can do about it? We've heard of hurricanes, we've heard of tsunamis, we've heard of high rise in sea levels, we've heard of extreme heat, we've seen flood, displaced people. Like all of these disasters actually displacing people from their homes. Fire disasters, we've heard of that before. We've even seen pictures and videos so gory, and you're asking yourself, oh my goodness, what is happening? Would it come to where I am? Would it ever come to Nigeria? That's, my friend, guess what, is eco-anxiety. Yes, that thing that touches you, that small thing that you feel to say, oh my goodness, this is happening. Look at that small child being displaced. They have to drag, like sometimes when hurricanes happen or tsunamis, you see children being dragged out of rubbles. Yes, that thing you feel is called eco-anxiety, and it's a chronic fear of the environmental doom. It's a doom that's happening, honestly, and it's the unease you feel when you think about rising temperatures, plastic choked oceans, or forest fires, and wonder, what's the point? Is it too late? Is it actually too late? Would you ask yourself that question? Is it too late? Especially when, young people are very involved. According to a recent study, 6 in 10 young people globally say they feel very or extremely worried about climate change. Yes. And let's be honest, it's understandable. We are seeing the effect in real time. We are seeing the gory pictures, the gory videos, and we're wondering what's happening. Floods, droughts, heat waves, displacement, like I said earlier. But here's the thing. Feeling worried doesn't make you weak. It makes you care. It means that you care. It means that you are thoughtful about, oh my goodness, what will happen next, and what will happen the next minute. It means that your heart is awake to the injustice around us. It means that your humanity is intact. So, how do we cope? How do we acknowledge these emotions without sinking into despair? Here are some things that helped me and still help me till date, and I believe that they would also help you as well. You have to name it to tame it. The first step is simply recognizing that what you are feeling has a name. Yes, say it. It's called eco-anxiety. Don't suppress it. Don't deny it. Own it that these things bother you as much as it's actually impacting on the people who are directly affected. People are being affected far from you, but yet you're also worried, like, oh my goodness, what's happening to those people? Shift from doom to doing. When everything feels too small, start small. Plant something. Reuse that bottle. I keep emphasizing. Talk to someone about sustainability. Action itself is an antidote to anxiety. Doing something, even tiny, reminds you that you can make a whole world of difference. Curate your climate thoughts, your content. Yes, have them together. Yes, stay informed as much as possible, but don't drown in negativity. It will not help. Balance bad news with good news. Follow pages that show progress, community, and solutions. Build your eco tribe. Join a climate group. We have the Climate Teen Hub. We have the CEI advocacy. We have the GSAI. We have Yongo. We have Yali Network. Join so many. Google around your area. You have them. Trust me. The moment you realize that you are not alone, something shifts in your spirit. That shared purpose, it heals. Now, let's speak to the change makers, to my fellow sustainability advocates, youth leaders, and environmental educators. You matter, but so does your mental health as well. When you are leading others and constantly sounding the alarm, it's easy to feel burnout, and unheard. You just feel, oh yeah, you're just talking to blanks. I feel that sometimes, but I tell myself, hey, you have to continue. Do not give up. And here's what I've learned. Rest is a resistance. You don't have to be on all the time. Take breaks. It's okay. Turn off notifications and just breathe. But look, the issues will still be there if you do not take action. So while you take those breaks and rest, be ready to take action. Stay rooted in the reason why you are doing what you're doing. Go back to that action. Take fire. Give it life in the first place. Was it the community you love, or the children, or your faith? But you're scared that sometime, someday, this would happen. The environment will just collapse and this would happen. But no, share your fears, and talk to your team. And by all means, you'll be surprised. You'll be so surprised that in the little actions you take, people are beginning to feel the impact of it. People around you begin to be more sustainable. I was so excited when when I hear, anytime I actually hear my friends say that, I'm being sustainable because everybody talks about it all the time, or because, that is my friend and she's always hammering or emphasizing about it. Automatically, you're making them more conscious. Every tree planted, every policy influenced, every child educated, it all adds up to something. It all adds up to something. And we're here in the long haul, that's the truth. We're actually here in the long haul, and the advocacy must continue. The advocacy must continue. It mustn't stop. That echo anxiety you feel, it's your call to action. It's your trigger to be part of the conversation. It's your trigger to ensure that this world is not left the way it is. It's not left the way it is, and we must take action as much as possible. So now, let's take a moment. Let's take a moment and reflect. Close your eyes, and unless you're driving, just ask yourself, what one emotion I've felt lately about the planet? Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it grief? Is it exhaustion? Are you just tired of talking? Now breathe in and out. Now ask yourself, what's one thing I can do this week to turn that emotion into action? Remember, there's eco anxiety, but you feel something about the planet, fear, anger, whatever it is. Now, it could be sending a voice note to a friend about plastic waste. As simple as that. Just tell a friend, are you aware of this? Can you do this? Join this. Or even journaling, write about it. Attend a seminar or a webinar. There's so many of it. So many of it you can be part of. Every small action matters. And the truth is, eco anxiety is real, and so is eco action. And when we move together, it gets lighter. It gets lighter, and we cannot say this enough. We can't say this enough, and we will keep talking about this and joining you all to be part of this movement. Like I said before, I keep saying all the time, it's not just a program, it's not just a show, it's not just a morning conversation to while away time. No, this is a movement, and I want you all to see value, to enjoy, in what is valuable to the planet. I want you all to see this as a call to action. Now share this live to people. I mean, Aso has, you know, online presence. Share this particular episode to your friends, to your family, your colleagues, you know, people around you. Let them hear what is being conversed about the planet. Your emotions are valid. That thing you see, that video, that picture rings a bell. That's a trigger. Don't forget, feeling it itself is part of healing, and doing something about it is part of changing it. As cliche as it sounds, as very cliche as it sounds, you know, yes, you might say, we hear it all the time, don't wait for the world to do something for you. You have to do something for the world. But it is what it is. Literally, that is what it is. You have to think of what you do for the world. You can't sit down and wait for what the environment or the world will do for you. But what is your own impact? What's your value? What are you bringing to the table? How are you solving the world's crisis? How are you joining in the conversation to ensure that this world is left more sustainably than it is at the moment? What value are you bringing? What's your story, and how can you change it to be more valuable and more impactful? Of course, I remain a Bide, and this is Sustainability Pulse, where we stay real, resilient, and deeply rooted in hope. We keep speaking it as much as possible. Mondays and Wednesdays we're here to drive this conversation on TV, DSTV channel 329, you know, Mondays 9 o'clock, Wednesdays 9 o'clock. Do not forget, put it on your timer. Just listen and be part of this movement. Share this conversation. And until next time, I want you all to live consciously, lead kindly, and pulse sustainably. As long as you breathe, just think of how this air can be cooler, greener, and fresher. Think of how this world can be better than it is now. Think of the actions you can take. And when you feel that tickle, when you listen to the pulse, when you feel that tickle, when you watch that very gory story or that video, what should come to you should be action, echo action. What do you have to do and how can you go about it? But do not forget to unlearn, keep learning, keep relearning, and just keep being that person who is conscious about the environment. Until next time, see you at Sustainability Pulse with Abide. Until then, we speak again.
Welcome back from that. Everybody, thank you so much for constantly giving us those charge around climate issues and sustainability and energy transition and everything. Now we're moving on to discuss a recent footprint of the president that was recently released by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation. May 29th makes it exactly 2 years that the president has was sworn in, and in that time, what has been going on? A lot of people claim they are unaware, but I'll just use this moment to read out all the things the president has been doing, just in case you are not aware. And this was released by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation. It says 2 years of transformation, the Tinubu footprint. First of all, the president has reached out to over 900,000 beneficiaries of presidential loan and grant scheme. Remember that scheme that the president had announced? 900,000 Nigerians benefited from the presidential loan and grant scheme. It would have been nice to know how much it cost, how much was allocated to each person. I think there should be a more comprehensive report. But for now, 900,000 beneficiaries of presidential loan and grant scheme, over 300,000 beneficiaries of student loan scheme. That's the NEL fund. Under the NEL fund, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, 300,000 beneficiaries of student loan scheme have been reached with that initiative. Over $10 billion forex debt cleared. $10 billion forex debt cleared. Over 440 ongoing road projects, including over 2,700 kilometers of superhighways. 2,700 kilometers of superhighways. We have 3.84% GDP growth in the fourth quarter of 2024, highest in 3 years. Just in case you are all bleak, you think everything has been bleak. Highest in 3 years. In 2024 fourth quarter, we recorded a 3.84% growth, GDP growth. I'm not sure how long that lasted, but yes, there was that. Then this president agreed to a 70,000 naira minimum wage payment. 70,000 naira minimum wage payment. That's yet again another thing to celebrate. A lot of Nigerians had been a bit despondent when we're counting 30,000 naira, although at 70,000 naira, I'm still unsure if that is a good take home. Does it really take you home? One of the many achievements of President Bola Tinubu is the 13,500 terrorists eliminated. 13,500 terrorists eliminated. Over $50 billion in new foreign direct investment commitments. This, I don't know if we should celebrate commitments, but well, it's one of the achievements of the president. He has gotten about $50 billion, the big B, $50 billion in foreign direct investment commitment. We see how it pans out. I wish we rather recorded foreign direct investment that was actually ongoing and not necessarily commitment. Net foreign exchange reserves up to $3.99 billion in 2023 to $23.11 billion in 2024. Net foreign exchange reserves was saved up to $3.99 billion from 2023, and in 2024 it rose up to $23.11 billion. Moving on from that, we also have over $8 billion in new oil and gas investments unlocked. Over $8 billion in new oil and gas investments unlocked. Again, this does not give a proper comprehensive details of this because the word unlocked is relative. What does unlocked means? Is it also like the commitments that I read earlier? Unlocked, just in case you are thinking about it. And the Ministry of Information and National Orientation also attributes the 4 new landmark tax bills. The 4 new landmark tax bills attributed it to the president as well. And finally, it says 5 new regional development commission. Remember, we talked about it where the president had inaugurated the regional development commissions. We have the Northeast now, we have the South, Southeast, and all of that. It used to be just the NDDC, that's the Niger Delta Development Commission, but we now have it across all regions. And already we started recording these discrepancies in projects and all of that. But these are what the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation has released as some of the footprint of the president in 2 years. It is not very comprehensive, so you have to make an effort to go read more about these initiatives. I know there are several others. These are just landmark or footprints as it is tagged here. Well, just in case you're wondering why you should celebrate this government and the president, now you have it. These, what I had mentioned earlier, are the footprint. We're going for another short break. When we return, it will be time for agriculture for today and tomorrow. Remember, that's very serious and important, yet sometimes overlooked segment that discusses agriculture, how you too in your small space can do what you can to farm, to contribute to Nigeria's food security. We have gotten to that point where all hands indeed has to be on deck. It's no longer government's job or every other person but yourself, because you want to sit pretty and get food. Well, it's now in your hands. Ensure that you also plant your peppers. You don't have to go to the market for peppers. Plant your vegetables. You don't have to do that, and it will bring less pressure. Imagine everyone planted something, just something. You know, it will make food sufficiency not a problem. Maybe we would actually start exporting to that level where it would reflect in our GDP. It will reflect, and we will all be better off for it. It has a very long. What's the word now? That's dominoes effect. Let's call it dominoes effect. But that's not what I was trying to say. It has a dominoes effect. You plant and feed yourself. Those who are planting in larger scale will no longer have to come to your market because there's sufficient. It's sufficient. You already feed yourself. Now we're thinking of processing and exporting in quantities that reflect our GDP, and then the pressure on the naira reduces, and we now see that the naira is gaining. See, it all depends on you and I, and that's what the agriculture for today and tomorrow always hammers on, giving you tips on smart farming and everything you need to do. But that's coming up next after this short break, and after that we'll be wrapping up the show.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. Of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the...
Hello and welcome to another episode of Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow, where we promote smart solutions for greener harvest. I remain Daniel Black, your host, and this is a media for agricultural development project of GSAI, that is Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative. It's an NGO that is focused in promoting, helping, supporting, of course, African farmers to promote sustainable agricultural practices. And yes, today we will be discussing a very important topic that highlights one of the very key agricultural produces in Nigeria that is very versatile, very productive, and very profitable, yet lessly untapped, very untapped. And today we are going to be having that conversation with a guest that has been here before, and we are always happy to have her on the show. No other person than Mrs. Fidelia Aguera, who is the CEO of Feedmen Limited. Fidelia, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Mr. Black.
Yes, and we'll be discussing the OFSP value chain and nutritional value, OFSP being the orange flesh sweet potatoes. Now, most of you have heard, at least you will know potatoes, and I don't know if you knew that there was the orange flesh sweet potatoes, and Fidelia has taken it upon herself to be an advocate of OFSP. And so, because Fidelia, I've been following you on social media, I saw how you gathered women from Benue State and shared the vines. You were so passionate, you were so interested in mass production of OFSP. I think there is a secret that you know that we don't know. So I said, let me call you here, let's talk about it on air, in case there is a national secret inside OFSP. Or by the time you open the orange flesh sweet potato, there's dollars inside that you're not telling us. So please, throw more light. What is OFSP?
Okay, thank you. OFSP is orange flesh sweet potato, and it's a very nutritious, a tuber crop that is very nutritious.
Okay.
This particular variety is not the regular potatoes you see in the market that is white. It's a variety of potato that has been improved on in terms of nutrition, via biofortification, like fortifying it with more nutrients. And this project came across as a result of tackling the issue of hidden hunger, which is malnutrition that is bothering us. You know, right now we have the issue of header crisis, where people are displaced, children are being malnourished. So that potato comes in to step in as one of the staples that is addressing the aspect of malnutrition in Nigeria and other African countries.
Well, that's interesting, because of course we know that people consume potatoes a lot.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think that would really serve the purpose. So the question now is, what are these? I know you've mentioned in general that it's called in cures malnutrition and all of that. So what are these additional value chain products that can be gotten of this OFSP?
Okay, so aside consuming it just by
directly
boiling,
as a tuber,
there are very versatile or creative ways rather of consuming orange flesh sweet potato. And let me emphasize that orange flesh sweet potato looks is like carrots.
Okay.
It's orange in color like carrots. Other people call it potatoes for diabetes. I don't know, but it's for everybody. It's not just restricted to diabetes. You can consume it by boiling, just boiling. You can consume it by making your porridge, or you can do that with vegetables. You can also go a step further, which is what we are doing at Fidnen with the brand Fidnen Cocoa, by adding value, using the puree to make bread.
Oh wow!
We use it to make donuts. We use it to make
it can be used for confectionaries and
exactly confectionaries. You use it to make flour for baking, flour for swallow. You use it to make juice, the tuber to make juice, the leaves to make juice as well.
The leaves inclusive?
Yes, the leaves are edible. You use the leaves to make tea as well.
Oh yes, I know. But back in Akwa Ibom, the leaves are used to for ekpan cocoa. Yes, we use it to wrap the cocoyam puree.
This one is not just wrapping. Add it in your egusi soup. Add it in your vegetable soup. Add it in your potato porridge. I will not call yam porridge now. Use it to make tea, like dry green tea. You use it to make fresh juices as well. We make gari from it.
So yeah, let's understand, because you're now mentioning how relevant, how useful it is. Now, where can we get this? How can we source it? Don't be scared, talk.
Okay.
Please, don't hide it from us.
I'll start with myself. As an advocate in the value chain, I have a lot of OFSP potatoes in Benue State and in Nasarawa. So if you need the vines and the tubers, we are here to supply. We have the value-added products as well. Our bread is selling in Makurdi very well, working on how to bring it into Abuja, but you know the aspect of business in Nigeria now.
You said bread, OFSP bread.
Yes, we add the bread, the puree to the bread, to the flour to make bread. So you're no longer eating the regular, the normal white bread
with made flour.
Yes, but the amount of wheat is being reduced, and then the potato incorporated in it. So you're eating a more fortified, so to say, bread that is more nutritious, has more fiber, that is more subtle on your intestinal walls, because for some people when they eat bread they are constipated, you know, so, and it's easily digestible, and then when you look at the color, it's so beautiful, so attractive.
I can imagine.
There's so much you can do with the bread. There's the potato, there's the potato chips or crisps.
So share with me, because I don't know if this is a miracle potatoes, but now what's the cultivation like?
Okay, so one of the things that makes potatoes a cash crop is because it has a shorter production lifespan compared to other tubers or root crops, like we have like yam like cassava. So when you plant your potato, one is drought resistance, is drought resistance, I said, and then it's shorter in production span. So it takes like the variety, depending on the varieties you have like the Solo Gold, what's the destiny again, that one is, because we have the Solo Gold, we have the King J, and then the Mother's Delight.
These are all different varieties of OFSP.
Yes, of OFSP. So it takes from 3 to 4 months.
Oh wow.
3 to 4 months, and then just at most 5 months.
Just like maize.
Exactly. So you can, it's shorter. By the 3rd month, when you put in all the good agronomic practices, you are ready to start removing your tuber, and it's very, very nice. So you can, it's a crop that you can plant like at least 2 or 3 times a year, especially if you have access to irrigation or to a watering system. Like even dry season, it's good. You can harvest.
But can it be planted, like the rains have started? We are getting deeply into the rainy season now.
We are planting it now.
You're planting it now.
We're planting it.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So I think at this juncture, right? So when it is being produced, it can be eaten directly like the regular potatoes.
Exactly, it can be eaten like that. In fact, it tastes like carrot. It's very, very sweet. Personally, I enjoy eating it raw. Either I eat it raw like that, or I steam it.
Raw?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
We eat the normal white potatoes raw. I come from Benue State, and the part of Benue which is Konshisha, married to Vandikia, we farm basically potatoes. And then when I got on the project sometime in 2022 on the GAIN project, I was taught a lot about this potato, and I saw the need to also step down or replicate what I was being taught, because we have this issue of malnutrition in Benue State. Another issue we have again is that people farm these things that we are saying is healthy, but they don't get to consume. They sell it off, and then the little money they get, or the money they get, they still find themselves taking themselves back to the hospital. So I took it upon myself to step down the training as a way of empowering my community, empowering the women in my community, because I'm community driven, and I trained them on how to plant this, and then to also add value with it to it. We did that in partnership with GAIN, one of their components in the project.
How was the acceptance?
The acceptance is good. The acceptance is good. Most people didn't know, like I was saying, it is not just the orange flesh with potato you can add value to. You can do chips, which is what we do, or we've been doing right from when I was growing up. But with this now, we know that there are so many things, so many products, like one crop, you are bringing out like 10-15 products from it, you know, because I'm in the value chain, like value addition. So they've accepted it, they've come to consume it, they've come to farm. Sometime last year, towards the end of last year, there was one of my church member, I gave her, she planted it in her village, and she told me that where she went to plant was on a refuse dump. She didn't apply fertilizer or anything, but when she was harvesting it, one small portion of land, like she got 5 bags. And then it piqued the interest of the people in the community, because the day she was harvesting, they were there watching, and then they started disturbing. They've been calling I should come and train them, you know. But there's also a clause to it. The challenge they have is that when it's dry season, people release their goods and this thing, and then they come and then eat it up. So it becomes an issue for them to preserve the vines from that season into the next season. But there is a whole value chain there, because even if you decide to go into multiplying vines of this potato in a net house or in a greenhouse to sell. I'm using a net house because a net is something you can use a mosquito net and do at the back of your house. You don't need to spend so much.
And that would just be strictly for vine multiplication.
And then you're selling, yes, strictly for vine multiplication, or you are rearing you're producing the potato, the tender potato vines, strictly for people who are producing the tea.
Oh wow.
So you just cut off, go and dry and make your tea, put it into tea bags, and then you go back and supply. And for now, a bundle of potato is going vines is going for at least 1,000 naira, depending on who you're buying it from and the volume you're buying. So there's money. If you have a space just on this thing, you can make up to close to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. And all you need to do is make sure that there's no insect infestation, which you can achieve that with the normal neem or dogonyaro that we have all around. You don't need to go and buy expensive herbicides and chemicals and all that. And then with your manure, you are good to go.
This is interesting. This is interesting. And I'm sure beyond this, at our organizational level, we want to reach out to you and see if we can organize a training for farmers in Abuja to replicate this, because like we said, food security goes beyond just availability. It has to be nutritious too,
and then accessible,
affordable, affordable, accessible, and nutritious, and available. So I think we will have to work on this and see how we can get more farmers on board farming what is in agribusiness we call functional food, foods that have very much medicinal and nutritional value to people. And then of course, and I like the term you used here, hidden hunger. Hidden hunger, malnutrition. So many people are going through it, and because you are seeing food to eat every day, you do not understand that you're not giving your body the
required nutrients. It's hidden because you are suffering from malnutrition. They say it's village people. They say it's village people.
Nigeria always has the village people factor. So yes, I'm very sure someone has learned something. Someone's interest has been pricked in orange flesh fruit potatoes. Probably you've seen it, you've heard about it, but you've never really, so it's something that you should go into. You can plant it in sacks, right?
So one of some of the trainings we've done, the virtual trainings we've done, we had participants here in Abuja, and we taught them how to farm it smart in their bags, in their balconies at the back of their houses. So we are open to training. We can come. We do the online training. We do the hands-on, the physical training. We are open to it.
Excellent, excellent. So okay, anyway, since you've already done adverts, would you want to drop your phone number? Would you want to drop your phone number for those that would like to contact you?
Okay. So the phone number is 070 37 18 28 15. 070 37 18 27.
Why are you looking at me? Do I have your number?
You have confused. 37 18
hold on, please. You take it again in a very coordinated manner.
So when I'm saying you'll be doing, let's do the secondary school.
Okay.
070 37 18 28 15 15.
Good.
The number is on WhatsApp, so if they call and we don't pick, they should leave a message.
Of course. Okay, so you can reach her on WhatsApp, you can reach her on direct call, and of course you can on the comment section. You can also reach us out and we will connect you. We really need more farmers. Like we keep saying at GSAI, Nigeria needs better farmers, not just more farmers. And of course this is a way of getting better by planting things that are more resourceful, more useful, very useful to the populace.
Better farmers, better food.
Better farmers, better food. Yes, that is very interesting. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. That is what we'll be taking today on GSAI. I remain Daniel Black, your host. We've been speaking with Fidelia Agera, the CEO of Feedmen Limited, and this, as always, is a agri development project of GSAI, that is Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative. You can follow us on social media at GSAI on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and then continue the conversation there. Thank you, and see you in our next episode.
Thank you very much. I hope you're buying that bread.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow.
And it's a wrap on Aso Morning this beautiful Monday. I hope you are just as charged and ready to take the week, just like I am. Wishing you a productive day today, and promising you that we'll be back tomorrow, giving you all the information that you need here on Aso Radio and Television. Have a wonderful day.